Look what showed up. It's time to get a goddamn roller. Let's do this.
Welcome to Saturday's Wrench. Yeah.
Alright guys, you can see here, got the new part in. It's looking pretty sweet. I'm not too crazy about the stamped logo there. I really did like the clean surface, but that's okay. Got it anodized black. It's looking pretty good, and you can see here that it goes on really nice, and there's lots of thread showing now. So I'm a lot more pleased with this. There's a lot more thread showing. Now I can get a proper torque on this top bolt here, and that's just going to be a lot more safer. So I'm going to go ahead and fast motion and get this top end together. I'm really excited, and we're going to get these forks in place and the front wheel. Just on the front wheel again. So just to take a quick break from the time lapse there, and the reason why I was having all that trouble with my front wheel before, I had the spacing issue. So I had this thing was moving in and out. What happened was I had this end cap bolt on wrong. So there's a part that has this like hex nut. So that part goes on the inside actually. So that goes in towards the wheel. I had it like this before, so it was sticking out like that, creating all this room on the left side here. So what you nice catch there. What you want to do here is get your beer cans out of the way so you could properly work on this thing, and then you want to put your hex side in towards the hub, and you could see that goes in there. I'm trying to move it a bit so you can see that. So the hex part goes here and this flat side here, and then this shoulders into the clasp there, the catch on the end of the fork. So I'm going to go ahead and install this now. Glad I figured that out. I was a little bit of a bitch. So just again, looking at your photos, take lots of photos, use them as reference. I went through all my pictures again, just trying to figure this out, and I did it. So we're gonna get this wheel on. Okay, so these front wheel clasps, they go on the bottom of the wheel that secure the wheel in place. They are directional. There is a high side and a low side. Not sure if you could see it, but just put it flat on a desk or something and you'll see it. But if you lift it up to your eye level, you'll see one side is a little higher, and that goes to the front of the bike, and the lower side goes to the rear. So these are your bolts that go on the bottom of the clasp. You have your lock washer and a flat washer, and then this bolt here. So the torque spec on these is 13 to 18 foot-pounds, and you want to torque up the front one first on both sides, and then do the rear one. And just make sure everything's aligned. Yeah. Alright guys, you can see here I got everything mocked up and it's looking really cool. I'm really liking everything. Just looks really neat. I got these sweet grips and I got the clutch in place. I am gonna have to get a new clutch cable. I cut it too short. That's too bad, but that's okay. I'm a little bit away from this anyway, so what I'm doing now is basically mocking everything up. So I need to cut holes in these bars, so that, because I have buttons that I'm going to be putting on here, and the wires need to go through the bars and out the bottom here and into the headlight bucket, which is going to be sitting right there. So before I go ahead and cut the holes in the bars, what I'm going to do is wait until I get my rear sets so that I can sit on this bike and properly just measure everything and hold everything to make sure that I'm cutting at the right spot, basically. So that's what I'm going to wait and do. So I have everything mocked up here. This is looking pretty good. I just have to get the buttons in place and the wiring through, and get a new throttle cable and just measure that properly this time, a little better than I did last time. I didn't take into account that the proper routing of the throttle cable actually goes out in on the left side through here. So one of the cables is going to be a little shorter than the other one on the two carbs here, and then it goes around to the throttle, and you got to measure at you know, full turning stops, and that stuff. And I might even have to modify the stops here on the triple tree. I might have to modify the stop so that it stops before, so it doesn't hit my tank, because it definitely will hit my tank at this spot. But again, I need to mock everything up so that so I have to mock up my riding position so that I have a comfortable riding position. So this is just a mock up for now. The forks and everything came on nice. The front wheel, that spacing issue's gone now since I turned that bolt around. That's looking really good, and the front wheel looks pretty cool. I'm really liking it. It's spinning very straight. There's no wobble. I could see that with my eye, and the forks are nice and straight. Everything's looking good, guys. So all right, guys. So take a look at her. She's looking pretty good. She's coming along pretty nicely. Got a bit of a roller. I still have to wait for my shocks. I ordered those up. I sent the specs to a shock builder, and they're gonna get those all those built up for me to my specs, and that's really good. So again, like I mentioned, I have to wait until I get the rear sets on and the seat, because I want to sit down and really just get a feel for where I want the handlebars to be, and then I can drill into them for the wires, because I really want to strategically drill into this bar so that the wire just comes out at the bottom here, so I can hide it. Because with my particular clip-ons, sadly, I can't. Some of them you're able to put the wire and make it come out of the end here. With this one, that's where it screws into the holder here on the bars. So I'm gonna have to drill into the bottom. So drill into where my buttons go on, drill, and then another drill here to get that going out to the bucket. So, but yeah, take a look at it. It's looking pretty cool. I got rid of that stand, and I'm feeling pretty good about this. So gone ahead and sized everything up on the front. Then I think in the next episode we're gonna get this cover on here, and then they did forget to send me a spacer for my rear sprocket. I fucking knew it, those bastards. So I have a spacer coming in. It's called a 181 spacer. I don't know why it's called that. That's just that's what they called it. So we're getting a spacer for that rear sprocket. That's sorted out. That spacing issue sorted out. I sorted out the spacing issue with the front tire. I was putting that bolt the end cap of that front axle bolt. I put it on the wrong way, so that's why I was creating that extra space. So now there's no space there. Feeling pretty good about that. The wheel spins, everything's pretty straight, and pretty excited about all this stuff, guys. So it's coming together slowly but surely. I think in the next episode, hopefully I'll have the spacer for this wheel we'll get that installed, we'll get the chain installed, get the cover installed here, and then look into maybe in the next few episodes getting the battery box and everything set up for electronics. So take a look at her. She's looking pretty sweet. We got a bit of a roller. It's pretty cool to see this bike on the wheels, and yeah, she's looking pretty cool. So stay tuned for next time, guys, and don't forget, get those projects out and wrench it up.